Let's take a look at the warning signs or red flags of a potential mass shooter. Number 1, a fascination with guns and firearms. According to Sandy Hook Promise, a national nonprofit founded by parents of victims of the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, many school shooters typically exhibit a strong fascination or obsession with firearms. The FBI agrees, noting that most mass shooters obtain the firearm they use legally. About 40% buy them specifically for the attack, while another 35% already possess the weapon. Number 2, a history of disturbing and/or abusive behavior. According to the FBI, 62% of active shooters had a history of behaving in an abusive, harassing, and oppressive way. This includes incidents of excessive bullying and workplace harassment. Additionally, 35% of shooters, more than a third, had previous criminal convictions. Number 3, domestic violence histories. The FBI report says 16% of shooters had a history of domestic violence, while 11% had been arrested for stalking an intimate partner. The Gun Violence Prevention Group, Everytown for Gun Safety, analyzed more than 150 mass shootings in 7 years and found that the shooter's family members or intimate partners were victims in 54% of mass shootings. Number 4, a history of being bullied or downtrodden. The Sandy Hook Promise claimed that perpetrators of self-harm or violence towards others may have been victims of prolonged bullying. They may also have real or perceived feelings of being picked on or persecuted by others. In a June 2018 report, the U.S. Department of Justice found that homegrown U.S. terrorists, including mass shooters, frequently combined personal grievances, perceptions that they had been personally wronged, with political grievances, perceptions that the government entity or other political actor had committed an injustice. Number 5, demographic factors. The FBI, the Department of Justice, and multiple advocacy groups warn that demographic factors alone, sex, race, marital status, or political party, are not enough to cast suspicion on potential shooters. Still, the FBI statistics show that approximately 94% of mass shooters are men. At the time of the incidents, about 79% of the shooters were single, 57% were never married, and 22% were divorced or separated. According to the FBI report, the racial makeup of shooters actually closely reflect demographics of the United States. While 63% of the shooters were white, that seems to reflect the fact that 60% of the general population identifies as white. And 6, verbal warnings. School shooters often tell someone what they're planning to do. These warnings, called leakage, often aren't conveyed to authorities until after the shootings. Sandy Hook Promise launched a Say Something campaign to encourage middle and high school students to tell trusted adults if they see or hear anything troublesome. Most shooters do not fit all of this criteria, but if you know someone who fits most of this criteria, talk to someone before anything happens. Support this channel and pick yourself up some original crime-related apparel. Look for the link in the description.